The desert wind was gone, replaced by a cold dread as I looked through my binoculars. Below us, the valley floor was a canvas of creeping, reddish corruption. It spread slowly, like a disease across the land, consuming everything in its path. This was no normal enemy. Jenkins pulled out his datapad, his fingers quickly navigating the holographic interface. He analyzed the terrain and the Blight's advance. "Sergeant," he reported, his voice tense, "it's moving at a steady, unnatural pace. My sensors can't explain this speed." Valeriana stepped forward, her elegant features etched with ancient sorrow. "This Blight is not an army, Sergeant," she explained, her voice grave. "It is a sickness, a consuming decay. It devours all life and leaves only desolation behind." I pulled up my own tactical map display, my mind racing for a solution. My eyes scanned the contours of the mountains. Then I saw it, a narrow mountain pass, a perfect choke point. It was our only chance for a defensive action. I turned to Jenkins and Valeriana, a grim resolve in my voice. "We will use our remaining C4 explosives," I stated. "We will collapse that pass and create a barrier. It's our best shot to stop the Blight's advance." Jenkins immediately nodded, his eyes bright with a renewed purpose. He was eager to use his technical skills. "Sergeant, I have enough C4, he confirmed, already calculating. We can bring a good section of that mountain down." Valeriana, however, remained hesitant, her gaze fixed on the distant pass. "Fighting the land itself can have unforeseen consequences," she warned softly. "But I see no other choice now." Her wisdom acknowledged our desperate situation. With a shared sense of urgency, we began our journey towards the mountain pass. The forest grew denser around us, the sunlight struggling to penetrate the thick canopy. We moved quickly, the weight of our mission pressing down on us. As we walked, Valeriana pointed out subtle, unsettling signs of the Blight's influence. "Look," she whispered, her voice low. "The trees here were twisted, their bark gray and brittle, their leaves sickly. The corruption was already reaching us." Jenkins, sensing the unnatural stillness, checked his environmental sensors. His datapad screen flashed with strange, erratic energy readings. "Sergeant, I don't understand these readings," he admitted, confused. "My tech has no explanation for this." The forest was unnaturally quiet as we moved deeper. I kept my rifle ready, my senses sharp. There were no birds singing, no insects buzzing, only the soft crunch of our boots on the damp earth. This silence felt wrong, a heavy blanket over everything. It made my skin crawl. After another hour, we stopped for a short rest near a fallen log. I pulled out a protein bar from my pack. "Here, Jenkins," I said, offering him half. He nodded, taking it gratefully. Sharing that bar felt like a small, normal moment in this strange, dangerous world. It was a reminder of home. Valeriana watched us with a curious, almost gentle expression. Her silver hair shimmered in the dappled light. "Tell me, Sergeant," she began, her voice soft, "what is this home you speak of? What world do you fight so hard to return to?" Her questions made me think about our differences. I told her about my wife, Sarah, and our 2 kids, Michael and Jennifer. It felt strange to talk about them here, in a world so far removed from ours. My voice was quiet, filled with a deep longing that surprised me. I described our small house, the scent of fresh coffee in the morning. It was a painful but necessary memory. Suddenly, a sharp, guttural cry echoed through the quiet woods. It was a sound of hunger and malice. My training kicked in instantly. "Contact!" I barked, grabbing my rifle. Jenkins moved just as fast, and Valeriana drew her twin blades with a hiss of steel. We formed a defensive triangle, ready for whatever came next. From the dense undergrowth, a pack of creatures emerged. They were large, wolf-like beasts, but horribly twisted. Their fur was patchy and matted, revealing sickly gray skin underneath. Most disturbing were their eyes, small, beady, and glowing with an unnatural, malevolent red light. They snarled, drooling. Valeriana's voice was grim but calm. "Blight hounds," she stated, her eyes fixed on the creatures. "They are beasts corrupted by the blight, driven by a hunger that can never be satisfied. They will attack until they are destroyed or they consume us." Her words confirmed our fears. These were not normal animals. The hounds lunged, their snarls echoing. I squeezed the trigger of my M4, firing in short, controlled bursts. The rifle cracked, loud and sharp in the quiet forest. The modern rounds tore through the creatures, brutally effective. One hound yelped, collapsing in a heap, its red eyes dimming. Another followed quickly. Jenkins provided covering fire, his own rifle spitting lead, keeping the other hounds at bay. Meanwhile, Valeriana moved with incredible speed and grace. Her blades were a blur of motion, flashing silver in the dim light. She weaved between the attacking creatures, striking with precision and deadly elegance. Our different skills worked perfectly together. The fight was brief but intense. Soon, the last blighthound fell, its body twitching before going still. We stood, breathing heavily, our weapons still raised. Though unharmed, the encounter left us shaken, a stark reminder of this world's dangers. The silence returned, but it was now heavy with the smell of cordite and death. We finally reached the mountain pass. It was a narrow channel between two massive rock faces, just as Valeriana's map had shown. A sliver of hope sparked in my chest. This was our chance, a perfect choke point to stop the blight. Valeriana nodded, confirming the plan's viability with a rare, small smile. Jenkins got to work immediately. He moved with a focused intensity, his fingers deft and precise. He carefully placed the C4 charges at key structural points along the cliff walls. Each block of plastic explosive, with its clean, sharp lines, contrasted sharply with the rough rock. His expertise was clear. He knew exactly where to create the most impact. I stood guard, my rifle ready, watching the entrance to the pass. The desert wind still carried grit, but now it also carried a faint, unsettling hum. In the distance, I could see the red haze of the approaching blight. It was closer now, a creeping crimson stain on the horizon. Time was running out, and the tension in the air was palpable. Jenkins finished setting the charges. He gave me a quick, firm thumbs up, his face smudged but determined. "All set, Sergeant," he called out. We moved quickly, finding cover behind a large, jagged boulder just a short distance away. Valerina joined us, her eyes fixed on the approaching red glow. The anticipation was almost unbearable. Jenkins held the remote detonator, its small screen glowing faintly with clean, sharp lines. He looked at me for the signal, his eyes serious. This was it. The moment of truth for our plan. I met his gaze, my decision firm and unwavering. I gave a firm nod. Do it. A massive explosion rocked the mountainside. The sound was deafening, a physical blow that vibrated through the ground. Rock and earth flew outwards in a violent, chaotic spray. The narrow pass collapsed instantly, swallowed by a colossal cloud of dust and debris. For a moment, the world was nothing but noise and flying stone. As the dust slowly began to settle, we cautiously looked at our work. A formidable wall of rock and rubble now completely blocked the valley pass. For a brief moment, a wave of triumph washed over us. We had done it. We had stopped the blight. Or so we thought. A shared, tired relief softened our faces. However, our victory was short-lived. A faint crimson light began to pulse from deep within the newly formed rockslide. It was not just a reflection, it was glowing from inside the stone itself. The blight was not stopped. It was seeping through the solid rock, an unstoppable ethereal force. Our modern explosives were useless against its true nature. Es momento de la trivia. Te haré dos preguntas sobre la historia que acabas de escuchar. Piensa bien las respuestas y déjalas en los comentarios. Pregunta número 1. ¿Cómo se llamaban los hijos del Sargento Price a quienes mencionó a Valeriana? Tómate tu tiempo para pensar. Pregunta número 2. ¿Qué sucedió después de la explosión en el paso que reveló la verdadera naturaleza de la plaga? Esas son las dos preguntas de nuestra trivia. No olvides dejar tus respuestas en los comentarios. Me encanta leer lo que piensan sobre las historias.
Si te gustó el video, pon me gusta, suscríbete y activa la campanita para no perderte la próxima parte.